It's what Kim gave me. She gave me everything. She gave me a family. She gave me a support system. She was in a powerful enough situation where she could love me without asking me for money, which is really hard for me to find.
The first 4 tracks of Yeezus established the lore of Kanye as godlike, an ascension filled with pride, arrogance, and assertion. Similar to the rise of Icarus, Kanye elevated himself to God status, and in the process, his wings melted as he reached the highest of heights. The remainder of Yeezus finds Kanye on the collapse of his ascension as he wades through the remnants of his humanity. As if crashing from a manic episode, Kanye is now left in ruins and in need of saving. Let's conclude the saga of Yeezus and be witness to the deterioration of his persona as the god begins his tragic fall. The immediate tenor of "Hold My Liquor and I'm in it" reveals that Kanye is actually emotionally heartbroken. He's lonely and struggling to have any meaningful relationships. So he self-medicates, indulging in alcohol and sex, the typical glorification of the rock and roll lifestyle. We're introduced to a new sound, different than anything we've heard thus far. Justin Vernon represents our character's softer side and admits to his new low. It's this type of vulnerability that is going to dominate the remainder of the album as he confronts his demons. Chief Keef is the character's harder exterior.
I can't control my niggas, and my niggas, they can't control me.
Admitting that he's given up on his revolution. The song sees Kanye venture back to an old flame.
Hanging on a hangover, 5 years we've been over.
He's looking to connect with someone, but he's not able to. He's hit rock bottom since declaring himself a god. Now that he's realized he can't get this connection from his past, he's filled with regret. He's lost, and like E.T., he wishes to phone home. I'm In It is all about Kanye's sex addiction and finding meaning in his sexual exploits.
Had to stop at 7-Eleven like I needed gas. I'm lying, I needed condoms, don't look through the glass.
And while it might sound like a brag,
That's right, I'm in it.
it's more of a confession of his depravity. His inner vulnerable voice returns again with the idea that he's just messing it all up again.
I'm in it. That right.
He eventually realizes his actions and accepts that it's an addiction.
That's why I'm in it and I can't get out.
He goes into a spiral of contradiction, where at first, he can't remove himself from that nightlife,
But can't wake up from the nightlife.
before divulging more of his vulnerability.
I'm so scared of my demons. I go to sleep with a nightlight.
We finally arrive at the climax of the album. Kanye begins reflecting on his lifestyle.
Just need to clear my mind now. It's been racing since the summertime.
His relationships have all fallen apart considering he's been consuming women like they're some kind of commodity.
And all I want is what I can't buy now. 'Cause I ain't got
But all the money in the world can't buy him true love and happiness.
these bitches surrounding me. I want something now, man.
The women he's been with have all been using him as a means to an end, to fill their own voids. He wants out of his disastrous cycle, but has to first confront the true nature of his situation. He finally opens up affirming that he lost a girl.
We could have been somebody. Said you had to tell somebody.
He was hurt and never fully recovered.
And you were screaming that you love me.
And after it ended, he was a wreck and opted to protect himself with a tough exterior, indulging in a nightlife filled with sex, substances, and material goods. The final verse expresses the utter apocalypse of love he's been witness to, the hollow sexual relationships.
To all my second string bitches, try and get a baby, try and get a baby. Now he talking crazy.
Needless consumerism.
She Instagram herself like bad bitch alert. He Instagram his watch like mad rich alert.
And today's materialistic paradigm.
$2,000 bag with no cash in your purse.
By the outro, Kanye references the hopelessness of his heartbreak.
No one holds
Telling himself to breathe,
and breathe and breathe
to live and learn.
and live and learn and live and learn.
He won't make these mistakes again. He's had his revelation and sees the destruction these empty relationships have had on him. So he's putting an end to it.
I need to call it off.
He's on a guilt trip. learning to let go of his heartbreak. He ponders over where his past relationships went wrong.
Maybe it's 'cause she into Leos and I was in the trios.
Clearly, monogamy was a barrier for him, one he created for himself.
Peeking through the keyhole, the door locked by myself.
He believes he's ready to move forward,
On to the next saga.
pretending like he doesn't care what happens to her.
Focus on the future and let the crew
But it's quickly contradicted by Kid Cudi's wailing.
You love me so much, then why you let me go?
The track ends on more of his harder persona, foreshadowing his coming regression. He's back at the club.
Reliving the past.
Beanie Man calls him out for falling back.
You're lost.
He's trying to be a badass again, but it's laughable. His godly powers have been reduced since opening up on Hold My Liquor. Now we only see Kanye heading back to the safety he thought he had in this lifestyle. A man driven by urges rather than one with the ability to affect change in the world.
When I go raw, I like to leave it in. When I wake up, I like to go again.
His Yeezus persona has been revived,
Jesus just rose again.
but his memories come rushing in. There's still no emotional connection to be had at this club.
Whether things are good or bad, it's just the memories that you have.
His memories shape him and help him grow, but they don't really change who he is. The girl that was prophesied in New Slaves arrives in the final track.
Honey.
Yeezus' journey is summarized.
We're tired of loving when nobody alive.
A character who was searching for a connection but was hurt and didn't know how to form one. One who struggled to be true to himself about the pain he felt. Bound 2 is the hymn of a god who's been struck by love.
One good girl is worth 1,000 bitches.
He's ready to give up his Yeezus lifestyle, opting for a chance at true affection. Kanye references Jerome from the 90s sitcom Martin, a character known for his player instincts.
I mean, damn, what would Jerome think?
A character who would be surprised to see Kanye settling down. But maybe he can do right by this woman.
You remember where we first met? Okay, I don't remember where we first met.
It's not the most romantic of relationships, and he's not yet perfect.
You know, ain't nobody perfect.
But it's progress for his injured spirit. He's found love at last, and he's working with it, hopeful for the future.
Hey, yo, we made the Thanksgiving. So, hey, maybe we can make it to Christmas.
But Kanye announces,
Jerome's in the house, watch your mouth.
showing that he's still worried that his past might stay present in this new relationship. And it will, but for now, we end on Brenda Lee's affirmation.
Honey.
This girl finally gives him everything that Yeezus could ever ask for. Companionship. Yeezus is Kanye's corrupted savior. He truly had something to say about racism and politics, but he chose to say it through a flawed persona. And it's a lot more powerful seeing a character actively lose the battle he's recruiting others to fight in. Throughout Yeezus, Kanye is blowing up all of his perceived negative traits. This sex-hungry rock star with a god complex. But in doing so, he humanizes himself. The further you listen to the album, the more human he gets with every track. By the end, he's finally aware of his bad behaviors, but hasn't fully changed, only progressed. He would go on to juggle being a devoted husband and father, while also struggling with his mental health, before giving his declaration as someone else as God. With his body of work, Kanye has demonstrated that even moderate change can be a meaningful godsend. If you browse online, you're bound to need Dashlane. Dashlane is a mobile and desktop app that gives you a shortcut for everything you do online. Log in instantly, fly through forms, and breeze through checkouts on every device you own. Sign-on solutions like login with Facebook can misuse your data because they make money from collecting it, selling it, and using it to annoy you with ads. Dashlane never has access to your personal data, but try out Dashlane for yourself. Visit dashlane.com/middle8 to get a free 30-day free trial of Dashlane Premium. No credit card is required to sign up, and it's ad-free. If you fall in love with it, you can use the coupon code middle8 at checkout for a 10% off discount. Thanks for watching, ladies and gents. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like rating. If you loved it, subscribe for more. Get yourself some Middle 8 merch or support the channel via Patreon and help keep the content coming. Links to both are below. Tell me, what's your favorite Kanye album? And that's it from me. Thanks for watching, and poop-de scoop.